All right, it's time we turn our attention to property with seasoned mortgage and property advisor Stephen Tropoulos, who is here to outline those mortgage complexities we continue to see. Stephen, it's wonderful to see us. You're joining from Liberty. What are your projections for the housing prices over the next 2 to 3 years? Let's dive in.
Look, I believe the market will continue its upward trend across the nation, but at different speeds across the country and across different markets. By 2027 nationally, house prices will hit a median of 1.34 million, and leading the pack, as expected, is Sydney at $2 million. So we're essentially in an undersupplied market. We've got net overseas migration running at about 500,000 annually. We've got strong foreign buyer activity and generational downsizes and cash buyers in abundance. So that means that demand is going to continue to outweigh the impact of higher interest rates in the short to medium term.
Okay, so what trends can we, sorry to interrupt, what trends are you currently observing when it comes to your clients' buying and borrowing patterns in relation to what you've just outlined there?
Look, as more and more low to middle income earners are being squeezed out on the affordability front due to higher prices, higher interest rates and cost of living pressures, we're seeing more and more of our clients opting for units and townhouses as opposed to freestanding homes, out of necessity more than choice, I'd add, and also moving further away from traditional metro suburbs, especially given the prevalence of hybrid working arrangements with employers, and as well as moving out to regional hubs and even interstate purchases, in particular Queensland and WA.
So what advice would you give to first-time home buyers who are navigating today's muddy waters that we're seeing?
Look, I'd ask them to have a look at the current government incentives that are out there at the moment, like the First Home Guarantee Scheme, which can help with low deposit home loans, where the government backs first home buyers and allows them to use only 5% deposit with no lender's mortgage insurance. And there's also schemes like the First Home Super Saver Scheme, which allows individuals to access up to $50,000 from their super to help with pooling the deposit together. There's also stamp duty relief across all the states for first home buyers at various price thresholds to help out with the cost of entering the market for the first time. It's also important to plan for things like reducing or closing credit card or personal or student debts if possible. This makes a huge difference to your borrowing capacity. I'd also recommend reviewing your spending patterns, assessing the need for certain types of non-essential spending to help boost with those saving and deposit plans. Potentially pooling together with mum and dad, friends or siblings to enter the market is also an option, very reasonable option in today's market. And we can see if parents or other family members are willing to provide what we call limited security guarantees. If they own property, they might be willing to put up a limited amount of that security to help out the children to enter the market with a deposit secured against the property. So no cash down, but mum and dad's house securing that deposit.
Okay, Stephen, can you explain a little bit more about the current state of the market and how it's affecting potential home buyers moving forward?
Look, the market, as I referred to before, is fundamentally undersupplied. It's also characterised by lower affordability, higher interest rates, higher prices, strong demand and lack of supply again. Borrowing capacity has been absolutely smashed by higher interest rates. As a rule of thumb, for every 50 basis point increase or for every 0.5% increase in interest rates, borrowing capacity drops by about 5%. So since the RBA started tightening rates in late 2022, we've seen about 30% of borrowers' capacity on average wiped out. So for a borrower who was able to borrow $1 million in late 2022, we've seen that being slashed to about 700,000 on average. That's a massive impact.
Yeah, incredible. So just to finish for me, how important is time in the market versus timing? Take us through a little bit more when it comes to interest rates as well. Just to finish for me, Stephen.
Yeah, look, time in the market absolutely trumps timing the market. Even a moderate movement in home prices is enough to wipe out the gains from waiting it out in terms of increasing your deposit, required increased stamp duty, and the overall interest that you'd need to pay to hold the property at a higher price as we expect the market continuing to rise. So my recommendation is, if you're in a financially sound position and if your application numbers stack up, don't try to time or beat the market. Rather, buy whilst the others are sitting on the sideline. The market, in the long term, always wins in the end, always does the heavy lifting for you.
Well said by you. I want to thank you for joining us on the program and outlining a little bit more about what's going on when it comes to all this property madness we're seeing out there. Thanks for making sense of it.
Good to be with you. Thank you very much.
All right, and hopefully you've learned something from my discussion so far. I, of course, look forward to seeing you all again very soon, right here on Ticker. Be well.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.